Welcome to Starfleet Universe On Call. I am Paul France, owner of France Games. I've an SFU Online, Bedcom Online, and Starfleet Warlord. Just remember how to join us for a talkcast every Thursday night starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can either join us on the Starfleet Universe Online Discord server. Just join the SFU On Call stream voice channel, or you can find the invite to the server on the SFUOnCall.com website. Or you can go to twitch.tv at twitch.tv/SFUOnCall to join the chat there. And of course, the lovely talk has turned the podcast available on iTunes and various other feeds around the net. And quick news from A to B this week: Albert and Steve Cole was teaching. Steve Cole was teaching Albert the history of the mysteries that Albert would need to take over Steve Cole's job. Albert also is working on the ACTA Book 3. The book is quote unquote complete, but he's filling in missing stuff and collecting art. Steve Cole has been working on fiction and discussing a possible hard copy version of the Merchants of the Federation. Also, he was discussing a software project with his friend Hernan, and then he handed it over to Albert. Also, discussing some new minis with a guy who showed up. Also, working with the SSD team to get the fighter mess all cleaned up. And also, Steve Petrick was busy working on Module K, doing his best to help him have something to focus to work on, and not get sucked into yes/no rules questions, and think about all the exceptions to those yes/no questions. So, try to keep Steve Petrick focused on that. When it comes to Found on the online store for this week, we had F&E Civil War's double-sided counter sheet. It's only $8. This is a double-sided counter sheet from Civil Wars. Always good to have extra copies laying around, which includes the pink Romulans, wind ships, and the ones able to leave the cluster. The sharks, and the loyal Lyrans from the early years, and the rebellious brown Zinnies and rebellious purple Lyrans. You can use them for Civil Wars or simply as extra counters to mark special fleets or other sectors. Moving on forward to the SFU Online tournaments, when it comes to Sapphire Star 19 tournament times, they're kind of closed, kind of open. There's one person, Tyler, who I've been emailing. I have not heard anything back from him yet. So unless he comes back to me quickly, I'm gonna have to drop him the tournament because he's not doing anything. He's not. I need him. He's not signed up completely. It means he hasn't paid for it. But but I still need one more person to start the tournament. Sorry, I'm distracted by kitties. And also the 500 BPV tournament won by Jeff Clark. He is actually working on that. He's got back from vacation, but he's got a Survey Monkey survey. Jeff Clark for the free option for Survey Monkey, which I know this, only the first 25 responses count. So you need to fill it out quickly before you're not. Well, hopefully there ain't gonna be any people up to 25. Especially considering that most of the tournament is maybe 10 people. Maybe 10, 15 people might reply to the survey when it comes to how do people want to go forward for the next tournament. So after the survey is filled out and get enough responses, so hopefully we'll get that started, and that'll decide how the tournament actually will be run. So hopefully that will be done quickly. When it comes to the online client, actually I've been working on the non-IRC version of the client I have an HTTP server which I want to set up. That's that will allow for better connectivity. Because currently there's the problem with IRC, which Neon. That's I think Matthew Potter. Yeah, Matt Potter. Him had a problem with getting dropped connections. Well, that should not occur with an HTTP-based server. In that case, it's HTTP-based, and it's not, you don't have to remain that constant connection to the server that the current IRC-based server requires. Now, obviously, there's certain things that would be lost, some features that would be lost, but at least at the beginning. But I think it's definitely a good way of going forward. And of course, one of the benefits is that I can also build a web-based client and possibly have people actually use their browser to, if not play it at first, at the very least watch the games using the web browser, which I think is always a cool idea. When it comes to Starfleet Warlord, when it comes to Die Hard 59, this is the last week. This is not last week. Next week is the last week. No, actually, this week is the last week. That if you want to be part of Die Hard 59, you need to get your orders in so that we can run the turns, because the third turn is when it's actually, I think that makes it maybe not this week but in 2 weeks. And when it comes to Die Hard 50, yeah, that's going quite well. And same for the standard game 97. Actually had one of the players drop out. Basically, they ghosted me. And since they weren't responding, I'm not sure why they weren't responding. Whether it was because actually the account they have is an email address for school. For I know that they're a professor and they lost their job, or they're a student and they lost their email account. Don't know. It has not bounced, so I can't tell when it comes to that. When it comes to the library report for this week, actually I got some updated Federation from Frank LeMay. I have not had a chance to process them because I've been working on other things. Particularly, I've got a retreat weekend happening next weekend, which reminds me I will not be doing a podcast next week. So enjoy the 1 week without a podcast. So with that is news for this week.